The European Union says it's close to striking a free trade deal with India. Speaking in Davos, European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen called the agreement historic.
The next weekend, I will travel to India. There's still work to do, but we are on the cusp of a historic trade agreement. Indeed, some call it the mother of all deals. One that would create a market of 2 billion people, accounting for almost a quarter of global GDP.
Well, for more on the outlook for the EU trade deal with India, let's get to Bloomberg Economy, Trade and Investigating Agencies reporter Shruti Srivastava. So, Shruti, how significant is this deal?
Yeah. Thanks for the question. So this deal is truly significant, as the European Commission President said, that this is, a historic agreement. Now let's first get the facts. This agreement has been in the making for almost 2 decades. The talks first started in 2007, but the talks were suspended in 2013 because of the gap in ambition the two sides had. They were resumed in 2022, and they gained urgency last year when the two sides announced that they are going to complete the negotiations by end of 2025. So this is truly historic in the sense that in Europe is one of the biggest markets for India. The bilateral trade between the two nations stood at 135 billion in 23-24. So it's the largest trading partner that India has. After US might be the biggest export destination, but in terms of a bloc, EU is a very significant, market for Indian exporters. So in that sense, this is a big deal for both India and Europe. Both are right now navigating a very treacherous relationship with the US. For Prime Minister Narendra Modi, this is going to be a significant deal because, it shows that India is trying to diversify its markets, and so that it can, blunt the impact of high US tariffs on Indian goods. Similarly, EU is also navigating a very treacherous time with US President Donald Trump's ambition to take over Greenland, and it's escalating trade tensions with China. For Europe also, this is a very critical deal.
Yeah, does securing this deal take the pressure off to any degree when it comes to getting a deal with the US on a faster track? Because that really seems to have stalled at the moment.
So it's very difficult to say if this is going to, it's going to fast track India's negotiations with the US or not. But this is definitely going to help India, shield its economy from the tariff onslaughts, brought in by the US high tariffs. India is one of the last major economies which is yet to secure a trade deal with the US, and the tensions between the two nations, they still continue, the strain continues. So by securing this deal with EU, India is trying to diversify and not keep all its egg in the US basket. India is also in talks with countries like Chile, Peru. It signed 3 FTAs last year with the UK, Oman and New Zealand. All of these efforts are essentially to ensure that Indian exporters find newer markets, and they are able to blunt some of the losses that they are generating because of the high US tariffs.